Hello everyone, good evening. So I welcome all of you to Amigos IAS YouTube channel on science and technology. So now myself, NEERAJ NACHIKETA, faculty of science and technology, will be I will be coming every month to discuss about important current developments in science and technology, which are very important for the examination. So, like today in the month of May, right? What are the important global, events in science and technology? At the same time, national news. We are going to cover one by one within an hour, right? I will not take too much of time, but yes, it will be a comprehensive kind of a discussion. And all of you who are right now watching this video in YouTube channel, you'll get to understand the nuances. You'll get to understand how UPSC or any exam, even Telangana State Service, even Andhra Pradesh Group Service, Group 1, Group 2, science and technology questions are regularly asked. So you know that science and technology, if you take as a subject, it has become now more and more important from all exams perspective, whether it is a UPSC exam, right? And you know that now prelims exam, 16th of June, 2024 exam. And again, if you look at the past trends of the previous year questions, PYQs, almost around in prelims exam, you have 15 to 18 questions, multiple choice questions, MCQs in science and technology, right? Space, astronomy, defense, biotechnology, then nanotechnology, robotics, AI, emerging areas of technology, ICT, computing, right? Different areas and topics are there where UPSC continuously asking questions, right? Even the main exam, if you look at the main exam, in UPSC mains exam, you have GS3 paper. And in GS3 paper, you have around 3 to 4 questions, 150 words and 250 words. The Hindu paper, the Hindu newspaper is one of the very important source of science and technology. Not only the Hindu, sometimes current aspect of science and technology will also come in the Indian Express. But the Hindu is one of the source which every student follow. Now today, Sunday, there is a coverage of entire one page on science and technology in the newspaper there, right? Now then Indian Express. These are two common newspaper where every candidate, every aspirant, they follow the news. And science and technology from time to time, it comes there. So you all who have been now joining there, I am seeing you in your chat box. So whatever your comments are there, whatever your queries are there, I will be there to guide you. I will be there to help you out, right? So the Hindu paper, the Hindu newspaper, right, continuously, whatever comes in the news, you must be going through it. But again, one very important thing, you must relate, you must always relate any current science and technology SNT news, right, with part of fundamentals, the basic areas. You must always connect with the concepts. And when you read current affairs, it's always there. The important concepts are mentioned there. When you read current affairs material like Amigos IAS, prepare and give you compilation of science and technology. So in the box or in somewhere, the concepts are given. Along with the concept, you get facts also there. You have a link with this, facts will be there. Sometimes, PIB, Press Information Bureau, right, or let's say government websites, sometimes international websites, you have the information. Let's say, for example, if anything in space program, India's space program, ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, anything related to defense, DRDO, Defense Research Development Organization, anything connected with nuclear, we have Department of Atomic Energy, and you all know BARC, Bhabha Atomic Research Center, that comes in the news. So you should connect back to the ministries, departments, and even the scientific organizations with that latest development there. If you look at worldwide, global, let's say space program, NASA, American Space Agency, NASA's program. or let's say European Space Agency, our neighborhood, China, right? The Chinese Aeronautical Science, CAS, or any such like JAXA, or any such kind of bodies which are at international level, and there is some development of science and technology in whatever domains are there. You should be aware of it. General awareness, right? I always keep on saying your general awareness, that becomes very, very important. Connecting back to the facts, concept, biotechnology, health, space, defense, nanotechnology, robotics, AI, any kind of areas there. So today I am going to cover all those kind of area one by one. We will see everything one by one, right? So let us begin with, so I am first starting with the month of May here, since we have been covering all this area. So let us now come into that. So if you look at here, the news here, 1st May. So, the Hindu also comes out with digital e-paper. And when you see e-paper, you have a science. There's a part of science there. Now, one of the research, a kind of studies, has said that methane emission. Methane gas emission. You all know that methane is a greenhouse gas, right? If you compare carbon dioxide as a greenhouse gas contributing global warming, and then you compare with the methane part of it. So you know that methane has got higher potential than the CO2 among the greenhouse gas emission. Now, if you look at sources, now what is the headline here? I will now tell you what exactly the headline has come in the news there. So in terms of headline here, if you look at the headline which comes here, so first let me read out the microbes. The headline is this one. In the Hindu paper, what the headline says, microbes, right, comma, this is not fossil fuels, not fossil fuels, right, produced most new methane, produced most new methane, that means new emission, new methane. And the study here, the study has been done, modeling study. Sometimes, scientists will carry out some kind of scientific analysis or some kind of model study. There is a study has been said. Methane gas, as I said, methane gas as a greenhouse gas, the source, the primary sources are agriculture, paddy cultivation. Like when we go for paddy cultivation, waterlogged condition, anaerobic condition, from there the methane gas is emitted by bacteria and all the microbes here means bacteria, microorganisms, right? Another thing is that petrol, diesel, coal, hydrocarbon, when we burn those kind of things, there again the generation of methane gas comes into that, and it's a pollutant. It's one of the air pollutant. It pollutes the air, right? Methane gas. So let's say here, this is the headline. Now where it came on the May 1st. E-paper of the Hindu. I'm giving the source also. E-paper of the Hindu, May 1st. This headline was there, right? So now let's understand. This is the headline which has come. Now what scientists have studied here. See, when we say methane gas, let's understand certain basic thing here. Methane gas, when it say, so it is a potential greenhouse gas. You all know what is greenhouse gas? Greenhouse gas which trap the outgoing radiation like infrared radiation and cause the warming of the earth, global warming. So potential greenhouse gas, right? Now it is a short-lived, short-lived climate pollutant. So I'm highly underlining the word. It doesn't stay for a long time. When it goes to atmosphere, methane gas, it doesn't stay for very, very long time. It stays for, if you look at it's a lifetime, like lifespan or lifetime in atmosphere after emission, that goes around 10 to 12 years. 10 to 12 years. Now what happens after due course of time? methane gas get oxidized to carbon dioxide gas. Like methane gas react with oxygen and forms a CO2 gas and water vapor. Right, it becomes a CO2 gas and water vapor. Right, it goes into that one. This is what happens with the methane gas. It gets oxidized. Again, methane will get oxidized to carbon dioxide. And you know carbon dioxide is also greenhouse gas. Now what is another thing here? Another thing about methane is that it causes 24 to 25 times more global warming. If we take 10 years time period, it causes more global warming than carbon dioxide gas. Right? Now another thing, what is another thing here? Sources. One is the paddy field, agricultural field, waterlogged condition. Right? Water is get filled, so it is anaerobic, right? Absence of oxygen. So the bacteria and all, they break down organic matter and release of methane gas. Second, you know that this one, waste dump yard. You have seen that outside cities, what is happening there? As the population is rising very fast, urbanization, more human population growth, we are generating a lot of garbage, and then we dump the garbage. You have seen the dump yard, right? Every city, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, right? All big cities in India and the worldwide, all the solid waste, garbage that go to the outside, and that dump yard, again because of the condition there, it generates methane gas. You know something called landfill. Here, landfill site. What the municipality does, you know, the urban government, the municipal government, municipalities, or municipal corporation, in that type of dump yard where the garbage is there, if they make a landfill, they dig a pit and put all the garbage, segregated garbage there and cover it. So what happens inside, there is a anaerobic condition, absence of oxygen, and they generate methane gas. Then you know this one, animal husbandry, cattle's, right? Cattle's, you know, those cattles, cows, buffaloes, there is a methanogenic bacteria. What kind of bacteria? Methanogenic bacteria found inside the body of the animals, cattles, and that break down cellulose. You know, plant herbivores. Cattles, they are herbivores. They eat the grasses, grass, plants, and you know they are made of cellulose, a type of carbohydrate, cellulose. So the bacteria inside their body that break down the cellulose and they release methane gas to the atmosphere. Again, that is source there. Then again, you know, this one, oil and gas exploration. Oil and gas exploration, like you know, KG Basin, Krishna Godavari Basin, right? Wherever we explore gas, natural gas or hydrocarbon, there's again release of methane gas, right? Vehicular pollution, industry and vehicular pollution, they're also from vehicles, right? Again, the methane gas is produced. Again, you know that in terms of biogas, methane is used as a combustible gas. We can burn. So even the industries, even the industrial aspect, refineries, you know, refineries and all this. So there again, methane emission is there. So if you look at methane emission, there are multiple sources are there. Now, what is the current affairs this news says? The report says like that. I'll read out the report. The report says that a modeling study has found that methane emission from fossil fuel declined between 1990 and 2000. Like 10 years they have studied the methane gas emission from burning of fossil fuels, industry, vehicles, like anthropogenic release, that are decreased. And what is saying that 1990 to 2000 and have been stable since, whereas microorganisms, microbes have been producing more methane of late. One reason could be the increase in cattle rearing in Latin America. Cattle rearing in Latin America, and more emissions from West in South and Southeast Asia. So this is what I have mentioned here, what I am now trying to explain here. So what is here? So the news is saying that methane gas emission declined from 1990 to 2000 from use of fossil fuels. Worldwide, what is the report is saying? What the current news is saying? That the decline over the 10 years, they have done the study there, right? And saying that micros have been producing more than the lead. Now, what is saying here? Methane emission increased again from the same time period, 1990 to 2000, from microorganisms. Like, one type of microorganisms is the methanogenic bacteria. Even, natural sources like, you are aware, wetlands. What is wetland? Marshy land, marsh, swamp, wetlands. Even there is an anaerobic condition, absence of oxygen. And this bacteria, methanogenic bacteria, it also produces methane gas. So wetlands, wetlands worldwide, right? They produce methane gas. These are natural source. Natural sources are there. So here increase. And what is saying here? Most of this increase is due to cattle rearing. See here, animal husbandry, cattle rearing in Latin America. In Latin America, there, because of this, it has released more kit in that time period, 1992 2000. Then what the report is saying, and more emission from West. More this emission from this one, solid waste, garbage. Right, from which region of the world? That is saying here, from West in South and Southeast Asia. In South and Southeast Asia. South Asia, India is a part of South Asia. India is the part of South Asia. So from West dump yard, solid garbage, there has been more emission of methane gas. This is what the report is saying. The scientific report which has been published, that is what mentioning there. Now this I am talking from 1st May, the Hindu paper. That has got the article here. Right? So you have to read that. See, when you are reading newspaper, you have to know the headline, the important points. And all of you who are going to appear 2025 exam, right? You are targeting for next year exam, you should continuously read newspaper and the important news of science and technology and filter out main points, the main gist, summary. Now this is the summary, right? This is a summary. And again, get back to the concept. What is the concept here? This is the concept. This is a mention of the concepts. So you have to always remember that science and technology, you have to always link back to fundamentals, right? You have to always link back to the fundamentals, right? So I hope this is clear to everyone. Are you all able to understand? So all those of you who are right now watching this, so I'm pointing out important such science and technology news and taking you to the fundamental areas, so that when you read such kind of headlines, you know the things about it. Now, if you look at from the worldwide part of it, there have been a lot of initiatives been taken. Even a global initiative, if you look at to control methane gas emission, climate change, because since they cause global warming, climate change, so there is a global methane pledge, right, where India is not the part of it. COP26, Climate Change Summit, Glasgow, Scotland, right? 2021. An initiative was brought to cut down the methane emission. Now, India didn't join that kind of alliances. So that is again the current news, which you need to connect there, right? So that is what I have mentioned here. Let's go to the next news here. So now I'm coming to the next news, which we have. So one by one, I will be covering some kind of areas which you must be aware of it, right? So that will really help in terms of getting more and more understanding part of it. Now, what I'll come across another aspect of science here, right? Nowadays you are reading a lot of things from computer science, right? Then you know AI, artificial intelligence. So what I'm coming here, 3rd May. Let's look at here, 3rd May. The Hindu paper has covered headline. Now 3rd May, what is the headline? First I'll tell you the headline, then I'll go back to the news here. The headline says computer science conundrum. The Hindu paper, you can do the Google search also, you'll get that. Conundrum that could transform healthcare. Now this is the headline. See again one more thing. Science and technology, whatever you are reading from the current perspective, you must not only understand the theory part, but also link with applications. What are the practical applications? Sometimes in UPSC prelims exam, you get direct question on the application part, right? Whatever new technologies are emerging, the application part becomes really very, very important. Now this is a headline, right? 3rd May, the Hindu paper, this is a headline. Now if you see here, this one is saying about cryptic puzzle resolved in computer science, saying that where they have tried to go with algorithm and diverse field, and they're going to be applied there. So what is here, what is saying here, that there's something here, what is mentioned, a kind of a P versus NP, that is what with computer science, there's a marvel, right, which is now going to be there. So that is part of programming language, algorithm, right? So what is here, using advanced algorithm, software. Right, using advanced computer program algorithm, right, scientists to understand diseases such as, one is this one, cancer. Cancer, what is cancer? Where the cells keep on dividing, uncontrolled cell division, right? Microbial kind of a wet comes there, or let's say any kind of a problem with the cell cycle, right, where the uncontrolled cell division happens, and then it finds sometimes carcinogenic substance. Another thing is this one, AMR. Now that is making a lot of headline. Antimicrobial resistance. What do you mean by antimicrobial resistance? Anybody can tell me what do you mean by AMR? Antimicrobial resistance. Antimicrobial resistance is the resistance to drugs, right? Not one drug, multiple drugs by microorganisms, maybe bacteria, maybe a parasite, which have become resistant to the drugs. Super bug. Then AMR, right, in terms of like tuberculosis, MDR, multi-drug resistance tuberculosis, TB. Then malaria. Malaria is a parasite, plasmodium. So there is a part of MDR in terms of malaria, multi-drug resistance of malaria. Any such kind of thing. Even the drug, misuse of drug, right, gap in terms of therapy, that help the microorganism, pathogens, disease causing organism to evolve and become drug resistance. they acquire drug resistance. Even that algorithm, computer program can study such kind of diseases. Then what the news is saying, it is talking about not only cancer, this cancer care, but also AMR and all this, right? And helps in proper medical care. So this type of software can help in medical care. Now what is the, I'll just tell you what is mentioned here. Diverse field which can be used. So what is saying here, unsolved problem in computer science, simply called the P versus NP problem. There's a something unsolved problems in computer science. Computer science, this is called, I'm putting in inverted comma, P versus NP. This is a part of algorithm what the scientists have used here, right? It's given a P versus NP problem could hold the key to this modern day conundrum, that is a solving the cryptic puzzle. That's basically called here encrypted puzzle. To solve such kind of a medical problem, scientists can use this kind of a P versus NP, right? P versus NP, that is a kind of a mathematical problem. By using that kind of problem and algorithm, scientists or doctors or the medical specialists can understand about the diseases. This was in the Hindu paper. Now you will ask me, what is the relevance from exam point of view? How it can be relevant for the exam? It is relevant from the exam from one perspective, that is in terms of knowing the technical terms, right? You are aware of the technical term, the key word, and based on that you are able to understand. See, I have said you don't have to become too much of it. Like, see, I always keep on saying in the classroom, I always say you don't have to become a scientist, right? You are all going to become civil servant. You all are going to become an IAS officer. You all are going to become a bureaucrat. You are not going to become a doctor or engineer or scientist in the service, right? So there you should know there's some kind of technical word, technical areas, and where it is applied. Like P versus NP problem applied in medical science. That's it, right? That's it. That's one. There's something in mathematics and computer science, P versus NP problem, and that scientists have been working to understand disease. That's it. Correct? So this way, if you are able to connect, you will not find it difficult, right? You will not find it difficult to understand. So let me see here. Any doubt you have? Okay. So if you don't have any doubt, I'll continue with the topics there. So anyway, let me go to the next one. This I have mentioned here. So this was in the news, right, on 4th of May. So now let me come to the part of another thing which I would like to add here. 5th of May, right? 5th of May, that was a Sunday. Now there, there one very important article was there. That is about nitrogen. Sometimes you will find about nitrogen there. So what is the third headline here? Hindu paper. I'll write headline first. What was there in the news? Right? Now this was on 5th of May. Now let me write down the headline here. Can the new organelle I'll highlight the keywords. Can the new organelle help engineer plants to fix nitrogen? Plants to fix nitrogen. So 5th May science, right? This is the headline. Now what are the keywords here? New organelle help engineer fix nitrogen. Where? In plants. Now I'll connect with the concept. Then I'll come to headlines. I'll then come to the news here. You all know that if we talk about nitrogen fixation, right? You know about this nitrogen fixation here, nitrogen cycle. See, nitrogen gas is the most abundant gas in the atmosphere, right? N2. And nitrogen cycle, what you study in environment science there. So nitrogen gas, right, that is fixed, is something called nitrogen fixation, right? That is a biological fixation. The three fixation are there. One is a atmospheric lightning. Nitrogen get converted into oxide and get to the soil. Second is a anthropogenic industrial, Haber's process, manufacturing of ammonia, nitrogen with hydrogen. That is a industrial use. And third is a biological, where microorganisms, microbes in the soil, they fix nitrogen. They convert nitrogen into nitrates. So here, biological, that is it get converted into nitrates. So biological, if you look at, one is bacteria, free living bacteria. Which freely live in the soil. I'll give you example, like azotobacter. This is name of bacteria. You can read in the biology book and ecology book. This is always mentioned there. Azotobacter, then azospirillum, nitrobacter. Second is symbiotic. What do you mean by symbiosis? Symbiosis means mutual benefit. Those type of bacteria which provide mutual benefit to the plant through which it is symbiotic. So they're both the partners, bacteria and the plant. They both help each other in survival. Like symbiotic bacteria, for example, you know that rhizobium. You have studied about this word, rhizobium bacteria. Now, this bacteria, rhizobium, with fixed nitrogen, is found where? Root nodules. Root nodules. Of what type of plants? Root nodules of leguminous plants, legumes. So what this bacteria does, it converts nitrogen gas into nitrate and provide it to the plant. They are found in the root nodules of the legume plant, right? Soybean and all this kind of plant there. And return what bacteria get? Shelter and the food from the plant. So again, this is nitrogen fixing bacteria. I'll give you another one. Even there are fungi, symbiotic fungi, right? I'll give you one good example. For example, mycorrhiza. Many times it comes in the question paper. Mycorrhiza. Myco means fungus, fungi, and rhiza means roots, rhizoid, roots of the plant. These are those fungi which live in the roots of the plant, mycorrhiza, and they again fix nitrogen. You are aware there's one type of bacteria, cyanobacteria, what is called as blue-green algae. So even cyanobacteria, what is called blue-green algae, they have a green color pigment. You know what algae, you know that algae have water bodies, lake, pond, algae, even ocean also has got algae. So that have a green pigment called chlorophyll, just like grass and plants. But remember that this blue-green algae is not an algae, rather it is a type of bacteria. What is the name of the bacteria? Cyanobacteria. And they are also symbiotic and they fix nitrogen. They are nitrogen fixing organism there. So blue-green algae or cyanobacteria. I'll give you example. Nostoc. You'll find in the question paper. Nostoc, Anabaena. See, Nostoc, Anabaena are cyanobacteria. They are called blue-green algae and they are capable of doing fixing nitrogen. Sometimes in the question paper, you will get direct question about this type of bacteria, right, which are found in the nature and they help fix nitrogen, right? Now what is coming here? This I've given basic understanding. Now in the textbook, when you read book of biology or in terms of ecology, you get to know about this kind of things there. But now you have to connect with current affairs, current news, right? You have to connect with the current news. Now see what is the current news says. What is the headline here? Can the new organelle, right? Can the new organelle help engineer plants to fix nitrogen? The Hindu paper. Now the question is that here the word is organelle. Now again biology, right? Life sciences biology. You know organelle, cell organelle. Every living organism, plant, animal, right, is made of cell. Cell is the fundamental unit of life. And within the cell, there are cell organelles like mitochondria, chloroplast, right? Then endoplasmic reticulum. These all are cell organelles. Now, what is the headline? Now I am coming to the headline here. Now you will understand current affairs. When you know basic thing, you will be able to understand current affairs, right? First, you have to know the basic thing. Once you know the basic thing, current affairs is simple. So now I'm coming to current affairs. What the Hindu has covered. The Hindu paper has covered like this. Endosymbiotic theory states that organelles like mitochondria and chloroplasts, the sites of cellular respiration and photosynthesis. You know, mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell and chloroplast is the kitchen of the cell in the green plants which carry out photosynthesis, right? Were once free living bacteria which that were later ingested by the recipient cell. So what is the theory says? Now here the scientific study, very interesting thing is there. Scientific study says that in the living cell, what we have? Two types of cell organelle. One is mitochondria, right? Both plants and animals have got mitochondria. Now mitochondria, this is called powerhouse of the cell. Which involved with cellular respiration. And second thing, you know, chloroplast found in green plants, even algae and green plants, they contain this chlorophyll, chloroplast. Plants also have got them. Now this is called kitchen of the cell. Kitchen of cell. And what is the role of chloroplast? Photosynthesis. Now what do you mean by photosynthesis? That is a carbon dioxide gas, CO2 gas, right, with water, right, converted into carbohydrate, glucose. Now what is the study says? The Hindu paper, this headline says that earlier this mitochondria and chloroplast, both are cell organelles, were microorganisms. They were simple cells, which later became organelles. Are you getting my point? What is saying that this type, there is a theory called, this is called endosymbiont theory. There is a theory called endosymbiont theory. Now this theory says that this mitochondria and chloroplast, today what we have within the cells, right, they were basically what they were once free living bacteria. They were once free living bacteria. Isn't it surprising? Right? The newspaper headline says that mitochondria, chloroplast, they were earlier bacteria. And again, free living bacteria in the water bodies and the cell body. But then slowly it became the part of inside a cell. Some type of cell would have taken this kind of bacteria. And this bacteria converted into now mitochondria and chloroplast. Surprising, right? It's a very surprising thing. Right? It's a very surprising aspect that got converted into the part of mitochondria and chloroplast. Imagine that. That where they were like earlier times, right? When the earth was formed, the initial part when the life originated. So this theory called endosymbiont theory. Such kind of they used to be bacteria, and then it was taken inside the cell, became slowly became organelle. They became organelle. And one of the very interesting thing is that even mitochondria and this kind of chloroplast, they contain their own kind of genes, right? You know, mostly where the genes are found, DNA and genes, that are part of chromosome, right? Chromosome of a living organism, nucleic acid, right? But there are two cell organelles, which now mitochondria and chloroplast, they have their own kind of genes. So they can replicate, they can multiply their own. What is something called extranuclear DNA. See, mostly genes or DNA, part of chromosome is inside the nucleus of the cell. But mitochondria and chloroplast being cell organelles outside nucleus, they have their own type of DNA, right? So when you are coming to the science and technology classes, right, when you join the science tech class, you get to read about all those kind of things. You get to understand about such kind of thing, right? And there you are able to understand, appreciate all those kind of areas. So that's what I say, the classroom. Why the classroom becomes very important? Because in the classroom you get to understand, right, basic concept. Then reading newspaper and the headline becomes much simpler, right? Then it becomes very simple. So first you have to understand the basic concepts. This is what I have covered there, and I have explained here nitrogen fixation, right? So that's what comes here. So I believe that you are able to understand this thing, right, and able to get into the part of it, right? So that is what things are there, and you should always remember that whatever you are reading, whatever you are coming across, you should always connect with that, right? That should be always be done there, so that you are completely in a process to understand, right? In a process to understand everything there. All right. So this is what I have mentioned, that what you can see here, I have covered this two headlines here, right? One is this nitrogen cycle part of it. The headline was there, that healthcare part of it, right? Methane. So I have covered three headlines. One is the methane gas, microbe not fossil fuels produce most methane gas. Then I have covered about this part of another thing I have covered about computer science, this conundrum called P versus NP used in medical science. Then I have gone into the third one, that new organ like mitochondria, chloroplast, which fix nitrogen. They're part of earlier. Can they fix the nitrogen? What the scientists have studied that, right? You can see here, if you go to this search here, if here, this one, I'm writing the same thing here, new cell organelle, same headline I'm writing here, organelle fix nitrogen, and I'm writing here the Hindu. This article was, you'll get the main headlines here. See here, this one. Can you see the headline here? Just to make you sure, this one, Science and Technology, the Hindu paper. See, that's what I'm saying. When you are reading the basic concept, you should always try to fix with that. Now see, can the newly discovered organelle help engineer plants to fix nitrogen? Now see here. What do you see the diagram here? As a part of cell there, the part of here. It is proposed by Charles Darwin in the 19th century. Natural selection. There is something called natural selection. Now, what is the natural selection? That an organism try to adapt with the changing environment, right? And that slowly they evolve. This is what the Charles Darwin, who gave the theory of evolution, right? This is what the article is talking about. See here. As proposed by Charles Darwin in the 19th century, natural selection, the engines that drives evolution, is how species adapt to their environment. Unlike the new Darwinist consensus, American evolutionary biologist Lynn Margulis did not believe that random genetic mutations were the sole cause of innate germination. See what Darwin said, that there are mutations. What is mutation? Change in DNA, and that help in adaptation to the changing environment. and then slowly such mutation give rise to new species. This was the theory given there. But there is an American biologist, his name is given here, there is a Lynn Margulis. He didn't believe in this theory of evolution. What is saying that she came up with a new theory called symbiogenesis. See, that's what I say, when you are reading current news, always get to understand those kind of theory part. Symbiogenesis. See here, symbiogenesis, endosymbiotic theory, which I've just explained here. Right now I explained. The endosymbiotic theory states that organelles like mitochondria and chloroplast, the sites of cellular respiration and photosynthesis, were once free living bacteria that were later ingested by the recipient cells. The theory of symbiogenesis was fiercely challenged, including Margulis' manuscript, which was rejected by 15 academic journals before finally being published in the Journal of Theoretical Biology in 1967. That means she wrote this paper, gave the theory, and this paper was rejected by 15 academic journals. Ultimately, in 1967, she got her paper published in this journal. That is a name called as the Journal of Theoretical Biology. It was not until many years later that mitochondria and chloroplast were accepted as being free living bacteria before becoming endosymbionts. Right? And now you can see science and other cells. This nitrogen fixation is a key component. Earth's atmosphere, 78% of Earth's atmosphere is made of nitrogen gas. Right? What I have said here is given here. See here. Plants and animals lack a system they can utilize. Bacteria and archaebacteria help convert atmospheric nitrogen gas to ammonia by nitrogen fixation there. This is what is given here. Right? So now what is said here? So this is what I have explained here. This theory. And then what I have said here, this one. Nitrogen gas. Like for example, cyanobacteria, blue-green algae, contain chloroplast. So that means that chloroplast was earlier a free living bacteria that got inside the bacteria, archaebacteria or cyanobacteria, and they were able to do the photosynthesis, and with that cell developed. Right? That was the thing here. It's a very interesting thing. It's a very interesting thing. Right? Which is being discussed here. So this is really what says here. This one. This theory, symbiogenesis. See, endo means inside. And now it is proven that what it says, that this mitochondria and chloroplast were earlier bacteria. This is what the article is saying. Which later on became cell organelles. And you know, in the evolutionary history, bacteria were the first. Bacteria evolved as the first. Right? In the entire, you can say, the journey of evolution, archaebacteria. They became the part of what is called here, part of archaebacteria, ancient bacteria. Right? Archaebacteria. Not only archaebacteria, even it has become the part of the cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria is also, you know that. Cyanobacteria is a very old bacteria. Blue-green algae, what we say. Right? Blue-green algae or cyanobacteria, they have been the part of the evolution part of it. There's old type of bacteria. And you know that cyanobacteria like nostoc, for example, nostoc, anabena, they are capable of doing nitrogen fixation, right? And these bacteria, the archaebacteria from the part of, so they were like here capable of doing for not only photosynthesis but capable of fixing nitrogen also. They are capable of fixing nitrogen gas as well, right? So this understanding, see, whenever you read current affairs, you should get the proper understanding. See, UPSC is not going to ask you headlines, right? UPSC is never going to ask you headlines. But yes, if you know the concept or whatever been discussed in the context of headlines, so that makes things easier. And you can see this cyanobacteria. Look at here, this one. This is how it looks like. Old bacteria, archaebacteria. And you can see green in color. Even you know algae. Algae also has chloroplast. And so now they are not, so what is the theory it talks about? Not only the carbon dioxide fixation part of photosynthesis, it is also talking about the nitrogen fixation, right? It is also talking about nitrogen fixation. This is what the headline is there. So what is, now I am saying that you should always make sure to read about such kind of news. See, first thing is to filter out the news. Space, astronomy, defense, nuclear, biotechnology, health, whatever, you have to first filter out. And how would you filter out? Based on syllabus. Based on syllabus. And also PYQs, previous year questions. You know, these are the areas. And then reading those articles, those headlines, and making sense with the subject. That approach you have to build. And in Amigos IAS, science and technology, we will learn about that approach. First, basic fundamental level, understanding the theory part, static part, then connecting with dynamic part, current affairs. That's what the Amigos IAS trying to do there, right? And as a part of teacher, as a part of the classroom faculty in the batch, I will be dealing with this kind of thing. And always remember that you have to always keep in mind UPSC exam. And it's not only UPSC exam, I have said group 1, group 2, all kinds of examination. You might get question there. So the headline is just the window. Headline is just the window, right? Clear everyone? I think it's all clear to everyone. So here, what I'm saying, the Hindu. You have to always make sure to go to the Hindu science, right? Whether it's a e-paper, digital version, or you have a hard paper. When you read here, this one, Science Tech News, latest development, right? Here you will find here. Look at here. Now, today's paper, BHU, Banaras Hindu Universities, this co-vaccine safety study riddled with major limitations. Now, you know, vaccine is making a lot of headlines. People are dying with heart attack, right? Covishield, a lot of allegation has been there. There are people's death and the cause is because of the taking the vaccine, COVID-19 corona vaccine. Now, another study for co-vaccine here. What do you find here, sir? If the most glaring limitation of the study is the lack of a control group, that was a part of it. Then now you see here, study shows impact of climate hazard on women and children. You know, heat wave, because of the now warming, global warming, climate change impact like heat wave. They have got more health impact on women and children. Again, the studies with them. Then you can see why mango is the king of fruits in India. You know, mango, Banganpali, Kesar, right? India is home of varieties of mangoes. And now this time, summertime, you get mangoes in Hyderabad. Such a delicious, right? Mangoes, right? Kesar, Banganpali, such a delicious one, right? So I was there in Hyderabad classes. So I came for prelims exam 2024, a special class for prelims exam science and technology. I was there for 3 days last week. And those mangoes, wonderful. So mangoes is called to be king of the fruits. Why mango is the king of fruits in India? Even sometimes you have question corner. You have what? question corner, right? And you should always remember that. You should always have that inquisitive mind. Why, what, how, when, questions. You should learn to ask the question there, correct? Now see, like here given, this is part of studies here. Now see here, X chromosome revival in older women increases autoimmune diseases risk. You know that women have two X chromosome, where the man has got X chromosome and Y chromosome, right? They are called sex chromosomes. So we have total 46 chromosomes. Again, the cell biology, nucleus, inside that we have 46 chromosomes. They are in pairs, 23 pairs, 22 pairs, 44 are called autosome, and one pair XX women, XY men. They are called sex chromosome. Now, what is the study says? That X chromosome revival in older women increases autoimmune disease risk. Right? Now, this is from health perspective or disease part. Now, you can see here what is mentioned. Now, this came when 22nd May. This headline is on 22nd May. Now, what is 22nd May article says? That X chromosome revival in older women increases autoimmune disease. What is autoimmune disease? Where the immune system start attacking own body cell. See, our immune system recognize self and foreign, outside, non-self, right? If there's anything which is not our body, which comes from outside, then WBC, white blood cells, or our immune system respond and try to remove it. But now imagine if our own immune system start targeting our own cells. That is called autoimmune disease. So that is been linked with X chromosome. You see, scientists have found a molecular link. What is molecular? Gene and DNA, right? Gene and DNA, molecular link, right? Genetic basis of the disease. So molecular link between altered X chromosome. If the X chromosome get changed, altered, X chromosome inactivation, there is an inactivation, become passive, not any response, not any function, and autoimmune diseases. Published 22nd May, which was also International Day for Biodiversity. 22nd May we celebrate every year as International Day for Biological Diversity. That time was the article. Now see here. Now this is chromosome. Like cell biology, you know the chromosome. It's like a ribbon like chromosome, right? So this chromosome you can see. And what is chromosome made of? Double helical structure, DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, right? That is where the genetic information is there. What you can see in the photograph, right? So here it's given here. This is what the scientists say. In mammals, the females have 2 copies of X chromosome. This part of. So here, X chromosome of human encode around 800 genes, which in turn code for proteins. You know, genes have got information about making proteins. So that is what comes here. Could thus lead to a variety of genetic disease, loss of function. So what is very important? So if I come to next one, this headline. Now this is from the health. Right, from the health perspective. Now see the headline here. What is the headline here? This is the headline. X chromosome revival in older women. X chromosome revival in older women. I'm writing the headline here. Older women increases autoimmune disease risk. Increases autoimmune diseases risks. This is the headline, right? This is what is given here. This is the risk here. This is the risk. Correct? So what does that article says? The article is saying that, this one. The headline says that first thing this one. So if you look at human chromosome, right? If you look at how many we are having, 46. Again, biology part I'm explaining, 46. What is called here? They exist in pairs. 23 pairs are there. Right? They are 23 pairs. Right? Out of that, 22 pairs, they are duplicates. They are called autosomes. And one pair, that is called as a sex chromosome. That determines whether a person will be man or woman, male or female. Right? These are either X or Y. These are two, either X chromosome or Y chromosome. Right? And now if you look at, now what is chromosome made of? This is what we study, nucleic acids. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, the gene, genetic information. See, that's what I'm saying, that in the classroom when you study general science, biology, then in cell biology or molecular biology or genetics, you get to understand all this. And that this you can connect to the biotechnology. What is biotechnology? Is the advanced technology which use the biological things in terms of manipulation to develop any useful benefit to human beings. That's where the biotechnology application comes. So you have to connect them one by one. Current affairs becomes from that. So here DNA and DNA code for genes, genetic information, and our traits, what we are because of our genes. If we look at human genome, the word is genome, total number of chromosomes and total number of genes. More than 30,000 human genes are there. 30,000. Human Genome Project in US, which did the DNA sequencing, genome mapping, way back in 2001. But now you know human genome projects worldwide, including India, have done for many individuals, many human beings. Scientists are able to unravel all molecular basis of life and particular human beings. So here, genes, traits, functions, and not only traits and functions, genes also code for making proteins, hemoglobin, myoglobin. They have the information. That is again the part of genetics. Gene comes into that. So now you see here this one. So what is saying here? If we take X chromosome, right? This code for 800 genes, more than 800 genes, for more than 800 genes. Now, for making proteins, now what is happening here? Let's say if these genes lose function, right? These genes losing function. If they lose the function, losing their function can cause what? Losing their function can cause what? Losing their function can cause autoimmune disease. And I have already mentioned what is autoimmune disease, where our own immune cells, WBC, white blood cells, attack our own body cells. Normally WBCs recognize our cells with outside, which enter our body, like bacteria, virus. So our WBC fight for them. But now autoimmune, what happens? The WBC start considering the cells of the body as outsiders and start attacking it. That's called, so here autoimmune diseases, and this is what is said here. What you see here, this one, right? Encode around 800 genes, which in turn code for proteins. A loss of function of these genes could thus lead to a variety of genetic diseases, genetic problems, genetic diseases. Broadly, the diseases whose onset or progression the X chromosome influence can be grouped into three types: X-linked genetic diseases, disease influenced by XCI escape, and those linked to X chromosome aneuploidy. Now see, all these words are there. Genetic disease caused because X-linked. One example is hemophilia. Hemophilia is X-linked disorders, where the protein which is used for blood clotting. What happens in hemophilia? The blood clot doesn't take place, right? So that protein which helps in the clot formation, that protein is not being made because of defective gene. Because of defective gene, the protein is not made, and that protein which helps in clot is not being made. So blood clotting doesn't take place. X-linked genetic defect, right? Then comes here XCI escape, they lose the function, and aneuploidy, then again functions they are losing there, right? So this kind of articles, the disease and all this, what do you find here? Right? Now another study, pyramids were built along a lost branch of the Nile. Gaza, right? One is a Gaza, other called Giza. Pyramids of Giza, Egypt, right? You have those kind of pyramid, and it is said that these pyramids were built across the lost Nile River. Now that is a part of archaeology. Nile River used to be there. Along that bank, they have built this kind of the pyramids. Again, excavation. When the archaeological excavation is done, scientists try to understand all those areas. Now that was the article here, right? You can see here this one, this article. This was published on May 23rd. When this article came, 23rd May. This one, pyramids were built along a lost branch of the Nile River. The Nile was the heart of the ancient Egyptian civilization, and the location of so many pyramids some distance away from the river has until now not been fully explained. So 23rd May it was published. What you can see the background, this is a part of largest field of pyramids in Egypt, consisting of 31 pyramids built over a millennia. Great Pyramid at Giza. See, one is Gaza, that is a Palestine, right? Israel, Palestine. This we are talking Giza, Giza. That is Giza lies along narrow strip of land of desert, several kilometers west of the Nile River. So there is archaeological part. Then again, that news you come across, correct? Now let's look at here. After 180 years, clues reveal how general anesthesia works in the brain. Surgery, operation, anesthesia, and the person goes to unconscious state. Sometimes people use anesthesia on the train, bus, and they steal away everything. Lutere, right? Those people who are thieves, lutere, with handkerchief, anesthesia, in the train, unconscious. All your luggage, all your things are lost, right? Stolen. What you have seen in the movies, right? That is part of them. You see in the movies and all this, right? But another thing is normally where the anesthesia is used, where we use anesthesia, surgery, operations, medical surgery in the hospitals, right? Then what is the brain? It goes into the brain. Now see here this article. I am opening the article, the Hindu paper article. This. After 180 years, imagine that. After 180 years, clues reveal how general anesthesia works in the brain. Scientists are able to get the clue how this general anesthesia work in the brain, and people go to unconscious state. Now see here, even though it is one of the safest medical practices, anesthesia is the safest medical practices, we still don't have a complete, thorough understanding of precisely how anesthetic drugs work in the brain. Imagine that. It's really very surprising. Anesthesia we all know, and is all used worldwide in medical science. But how that anesthesia work in the brain is still the unknown. Scientists are trying to reveal how the person goes to unconscious state by inhaling anesthesia. After 180 years, scientists have got only clue. Scientists have understood only clue, not the complete understanding. So he is given here. And how does the drug work in the brain? Right? What you see the photograph here. Now here, this one. Over 350 million surgeries are performed globally each year. Now, sometimes when you read Hindu paper, you will come across data. You'll have certain type of data information, facts. See here, more than 350 million surgery. I'm not talking 1 or 2 million. More than 350 million surgeries, right, are performed globally every year. Worldwide, every year, more than 350 million surgeries are performed, whether small or big, right? Each year, for most of us, is likely to some point in our lives, we have undergo procedure that need general anesthesia and safest medical things there. So scientists have now tried to understand this kind of thing there, right? This part comes here. So now you see here, even ChatGPT helps Manipur man gets back his job. OpenAI, ChatGPT, AI, artificial intelligence, right? OpenAI, which has come out with ChatGPT, right? Machine learning. Again, all these are concepts. And then you have to link with fact, applications, current affairs, government programs, right? We will cover that. I am going to teach all theory part, entire syllabus in the classroom. See, in Amigos IAS, during the classroom program, science and technology is not that only theoretical part. I am, as a teacher, covers the basic fundamental concepts. Once the basic fundamental concepts are there with facts, applications, linking with current affairs. And that has to be the approach. And I'm going to cover that in Amigos completely there, correct? So today, whatever I have discussed from the Hindu paper and the articles, that you need to go through it. And please follow Amigos IAS website and the current affair materials. You will have all those updates. And I will be regularly coming to YouTube channel to discuss such kind of latest development in science and technology from current perspective. Those of you are writing exam, those of you are appearing exam will really get benefited. And I will conduct in such a way, it will be 1 hour session, right, covering at least 7 to 8 important news headlines with the basic facts and theories part. I think this really helps you, right? So I thank the entire management of Amigo IAS, and whatever queries you have, whatever doubts you have, you should always contact us, and I, being a teacher, will always be there to look after, right? So no need to worry. Whatever headlines, whatever news today I have discussed, we are going to continue with other important news. And there are a lot of areas in science and technology which we are going to understand. So wherever you find difficulty, contact Amigos, and we'll try to resolve your things there, right? And for science and technology classes, you can join our program there, Amigo IAS, right? So I thank all of you for watching this particular session, and we will meet soon, right? I will come back again. All right, so thank you, take care, we'll be back. Thank you.